Welcome back to another episode of Rock Football. We are coming at you with some big news for the Miami fans as Jojo Trader commits to the U. And this is a huge win. When you can beat out Ohio State for a receiver, especially an elite one at the level of Jojo Trader, that's a tough battle. I mean, Ohio State's probably done it as well as anybody that is in terms of recruiting that wide receiver position. And frankly, for a Miami team that's coming off a less than stellar offensive performance that really didn't, I don't think, excited the fans. And I can't imagine particularly excited recruits for Cristobal to be able to sell this scheme in Dawson to these new guys and these up and comers. I think is going to be huge because if Miami is going to get back to being a really fun team to watch, being able to fill up their stadium and have the backing of that fan base, I think these are the type of players who are box office guys that they're going to need to attract. And I mean, we're going to get into a little bit the player and a little bit what this means for the program in this video. But first off, we just wanted to thank all the Miami fans and everyone who supports the channel. Honestly, it's been so incredible. I mean, to get over 6,000 subscribers, like we could have never really thought that was possible when we just started firing this up, talking about football. So, thank you again for everyone for subscribing. And if you do enjoy the content, please consider clicking that subscribe button. It certainly does help and it means a lot to us. And just to get into the player, I mean, there's not much else to say. This is a super electric prospect. I mean, obviously, pretty much any school in the country wanted him. Really has some big time talent on the edge. And frankly, if Shannon Dawson's about to work in this scheme and what he's going to try to do is going to work, he needs to have these type of players. And you watch last year, they just had no inventiveness on offense. It was so stagnant. It was so bland. This is the type of guy who gets in your system and you can just do a lot with him and you can kind of open it up and play that creative style of ball that Dawson wants to play. And frankly, to me, if Miami's going to get back to what they were in the 90s or late 80s and in early 2000s when it was fun and you had guys like Michael Irving, Melvin Bratton, Santana Moss, Andre Johnson, you just had a litany of guys who were just incredibly fun to watch and were super exciting and got all the fans going and embracing the program again. And obviously that's what Cristobal wants. That's his goal. That's what he's pretty much said he's going to try to do for this football program. And again, bringing in a guy like Jojo Trader, it feels like a very good first step. I think this will be a path to being able to convince those top quarterbacks to come to Miami and feel like this is a place where they can really shine and go be a first round pick or be a Jim Kelly. I don't know, any of those really great wide receivers that Miami had, a Ken Dorsey even, or quarterbacks, I should say. But yeah, just to get onto that, I that's kind of to me what most excites me about this get. And obviously Miami did start a little slow on the recruiting trail, but have been picking it up now, getting some monster commitments, both frankly over Ohio State, which obviously is nice to take it from one of the big dogs or at least one of the big premier recruiting powers. And now you got two guys from that program or two guys who are very highly sought after by Ohio State, and you got them in the Canes program, and we'll see if Mario Cristobal and company can open it up. And we've talked about it. This recruiting game is a lot of momentum. And last year they certainly had it, like landing big names in a bunch of 5-stars, Ruben Bain, Maui Noah. They were just loaded and they had a bunch of top tier guys. I think if this Miami team can show some improvement on the field, which I certainly think is possible, I love them. I love the moves they made at the coaching staff. I think those two coordinators, better to cut loose with them now. That just was never going to work, both of them. I didn't think Steele and certainly not Gaddis looked like they were going to be the future of that program. So you get some new energetic kind of coaches, even some younger coaches in a certain sense, into this program. I think that might do worlds for them just in terms of how they play, being a little more inspired and certainly on the offensive side, just playing a lot more exciting football. So to me, this is a huge get. I think this is monstrous for Miami and what they're trying to do. And as they continue to build out this class in the 2024 cycle, which again may not be a monster group because of how big and deep that 2023 class was, but you certainly want to get your share of high high ranking guys like the Traders, like the Lightfoots or Kevin Riley's. Those guys are kind of immediate program changers. They're talents that any school in the country would be happy to have. And you got to think Miami's got to get probably around 5 to 10 of those type of guys in this program if it's going to get rolling in the way Mario Cristobal wants it to go. But again, this just feels like a good start. It feels like Miami's really starting to get rolling a little bit, and we'll see if they can close it out, have a good summer, and then again, like we've mentioned, if they can just put some improvements together on the field, really then look for them to crank it up and maybe get a couple flips or something and get it back rolling in the way that it felt like it was in 2023. That's all about all I had today. I just keep it short, just talk a little bit about what this commitment means for Miami. But thank you guys all for watching.